The night was thick with anticipation, the air carrying an unspoken tension that seemed to permeate every corner of the town. The Halloween slasher, a name that had sent shivers down the spines of the residents, had finally been confronted by Detective Mark Lawson. As Alex Carter, a mortuary staff member, I was summoned to collect the body of the slasher, a task I wasn't particularly eager to undertake. Navigating the quiet streets in the mortuary van, my thoughts swirled with unease. The shadows outside seemed thicker, almost palpable. The cheerful Halloween decorations that adorned houses stood in stark contrast to the foreboding that had settled over the community. Arriving at the designated alley, I parked the van and stepped out. The dim light from the streetlights carved out pools of feeble illumination, their glow causing shadows to perform an eerie dance across the pavement. I proceeded to where the Halloween slasher was supposed to have fallen, a victim of Detective Lawson's precision. However, a sinking feeling of dread took over as I realized that the body was nowhere in sight. The cold silence of the alley only deepened my unease. Hastily, I grabbed my phone, calling the station. "It's Alex Carter from the mortuary," I informed hastily, trying to keep the panic from my voice. "I'm here for the slasher's body, but there's nothing. It's gone." The response was one of confusion and alarm. "Stay right there. We're sending a unit." As minutes stretched on, the alley seemed to grow even more foreboding. Each sound, from the distant hoot of an owl to the rustling of leaves, seemed magnified. Every corner seemed to harbor potential threats, making me all the more aware of my vulnerability. The sudden flash of police lights was a welcome sight. Officers stepped out, their grim expressions mirroring my own sentiments. I relayed my observations, my voice betraying the edge of my anxiety. While they commenced their investigations, my attention kept being drawn to the inky pockets of darkness in the alley. The temperature seemed to drop, and I couldn't shake off the oppressive sensation that we weren't alone. Suddenly, the world shifted into a maelstrom of sounds and lights. Headlights bore down on me, their blinding brilliance paralyzing. My instincts screamed and I lunged aside, narrowly avoiding a vehicle that tore past, its tires screeching on the asphalt. Recovering from the shock, my heart pounding, I looked around to see a figure standing at the far end of the alley. Even in the dim light, there was no mistaking him, the Halloween slasher. His gaze fixed on mine, eyes gleaming with malevolent intent. There were shouts, the sounds of officers giving chase, but all of that seemed distant. All I could focus on was the enigmatic, terrifying figure that had somehow escaped his fate. As officers scrambled and the slasher disappeared once more into the night, the reality of what had just occurred began to sink in. The implications were chilling. Lying on the stretcher in the ambulance, shock and adrenaline still racing through my veins, the weight of the evening pressed heavily upon me. The slasher, seemingly beyond the grasp of death, remained at large, his shadowy presence a haunting promise of nightmares yet to come.